this is a pretty embarrassing story, but I um I fucked up my muscle on my shoulder from playing Overwatch. I don't know. I pulled it or something. All right, guys. Next thing we have coming up, we don't really have too much. We are still waiting for the appeal process. As you guys know, the last thing we really heard, major news, Elaine Brothers. I say Brotherson. What's Elaine's last name again? Elaine Breda Huff was dropped. She's not going to be working on the appeal. However, they are going to keep Mr. Ben Roddenborn, and she's hired two new lawyers. So that's one of the major news right now, and we're just waiting to see what kind of happens. But we do have some new what are these called? Designation of assignments of error. So this is Amber Heard. So they filed this in, I think, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So like I said, I'm a little bit late on this, but let's read. Let's see what it says. Let me make the screen bigger. Appellant designation of assignments of error. All right, let's see what team Amber Heard thinks how the court may have ruled an error. Let's see. Erred, ruled an error. Ruled an error? Ruled an error. No, that's not right. How the trial court erred. How about that? Erred. Comes now appellant Amber Laura Heard, or as Elaine would say, Laura Amber Heard, by counsel and designates the following as her assignments of error pursuant to blah, blah, blah. 1. The trial court erred in declining to dismiss the action on the ground of forum non-convenience. 2. The trial court erred in denying the supplemental plea in bar and in ruling that a November 2nd, 2020 judgment in the UK, blah, 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 does not foreclose Mr. Depp's claims. I think it's so funny how they're still arguing this, but okay, go ahead. Number 3, the trial court erred in denying the demurrer and plea in bar and in ruling as a matter of law that the 3 allegedly defamatory statements in the challenge op-ed are A, actionable as statements of fact rather than non-actionable expressions of opinion, and B, actionable as defamation by implication. 4. The trial court erred in excluding the evidence at trial from November 2nd, 2020 judgment of UK High Court of Justice. So this must mean all the medical records that she said that was not admitted to this trial. 5. The trial court erred in excluding the evidence at trial A, there it is, medical records, including Ms. Heard's contemporaneous communications with medical providers, such as Dr. Laura Anderson. Remember, guys, Dr. Laura Anderson, she testified. Her testimony was in bits and pieces because it was like a video testimony, and those are the fucking worst, in my opinion. But Dr. Laura Anderson, I think if I remember correctly, she said that the only time she heard about Amber Heard accusing Johnny Depp of abusing her was when, Johnny Depp wasn't around and Amber Heard was only alone one-on-one with her. I think she may have mentioned it once. But the way that, I don't know, when you guys saw Dr. Laura Anderson's testimony, when she spoke about their relationship, it didn't sound like she thought Amber Heard was the victim, in my opinion. It really sounded like she knew that Johnny Depp was the victim. Because remember how she would talk about, like, Amber Heard would try to dominate the conversation, would, like, cut him off, wouldn't let him speak, and he would, like, at some point did get frustrated. But, yeah, I mean, we didn't, the testimony, the video, I don't like video testimonies. I feel like you can't really get a good read on people sometimes. Because it's just, like, you're hopping all over the place. We have Dr. David Kipper, which was their doctor during that time. Debbie Lloyd was the nurse. And again, like, from these two, like, they were around, if they thought that, like, she was actually being, like, physically harmed and abused and stuff, like, wouldn't they fucking report it, right? Maybe. Ms. Arid Falatib. So this one was very interesting. There was that part where I think Amber said that she had the busted lip and the head bump. Erin went to go check on her. This is a nurse, I think. She went to go check on her like 2 days afterwards, and she was like, I saw a little bit of blood on the lip, but I didn't see anything on her head. Dr. Amy Banks. Dr. Amy Banks. Is Dr. Amy Banks the one that we didn't get a testimony from? Dr. Connell Cowan, I don't think testified. Bonnie Jacobs. I think Bonnie Jacobs is the one that, like, people that Laura Amber Heard, that Amber Heard said that, like, had the contemporaneous notes. But if I remember correctly, the notes wasn't really the doctor saying, "Oh, she's being abused." The notes were just like, "Oh, Amber said this happened," or something like that. Or it was Amber's notes. It wasn't necessarily the doctor's notes. Ms. Heard's communication with several third parties, including Mr. Depp's employees, Ms. Heard's employees, friends, family, about interaction with Mr. Depp, including reports of drug use, aggressive, abusive conduct, physical abuse, and her fear for her safety. 6. The trial court erred in admitting evidence at trial related to Ms. Heard's pledge to donate money to charity and evidence related to Ms. Heard's alleged abuse of third parties. Number 7, the trial court erred in excluding evidence at trial of Mr. Depp. I don't know. I feel like the three judges that are going to get this at their desk, I feel like they're just going to be like, God. Mr. Depp's reputation existed prior to publication of the challenge op-ed and after the op-ed was published. Number 8, the trial court erred in sustaining an objection during the cross-examination of Mr. Depp to a question about the truth of one of the allegedly defamatory statements on the ground that it's called for a legal conclusion. Number 9, the trial court erred in allowing Mr. Depp to argue or suggest at trial that a jury could award damages based on statements or conduct occurring prior to the publication of the challenge op-ed. If I remember correctly, the jury instructions were very specific about the time frame that Johnny Depp was to be owed these damages. The time frame was on there. Number 10, the trial court erred in allowing Mr. Depp to argue or suggest at trial the jury to consider whether the allegedly defamatory statements in the challenge op-ed were republications of statement. So remember, they said it was republication because she tweeted it. She retweeted it. Sorry, she retweeted it, had the article in that tweet with that title, with the title that she was being sued for. Because she got in trouble for that. 11, the trial court, which rejected proposal jury instruction, CC, improperly instructed the jury on actual malice. Damn, my shoulder's acting up again. Oh, we might have to do a short stream. Number 12, trial court erred in denying the motion to strike and to set aside the jury's verdict with regard to Mr. Depp's failure to prove publication misheard by the statement, "I spoke against sexual violence and face our culture's wrath." That's the title, right? Yeah, that's the, I think, no, was it? No, sorry, that was not the title. What was the title again? Fuck, I don't want to look up the article. I don't want to look up the article. Therapist notes are not medical notes. Sincerely, a therapist. She could have brought her therapist on the stand, otherwise, it's hearsay. I think Johnny should have paid Amber the $2 million. Oh yeah, they're gonna, because you know what? Because she appealed, they appealed. They wouldn't have appealed otherwise, but now they're gonna appeal the $2 million award. So that would be really funny if if her appeal got rejected, but they accepted Johnny's appeal and was like, oh hey, Johnny, you don't have to pay Amber the $2 million. 13, the trial court erred in denying the motion to set aside the jury's verdict with regard to Mr. Depp's failure to prove that the allegedly defamatory statements in the challenge op-ed each conveyed a defamatory meaning about him by implication. And any such implication was both designed and intended by Ms. Heard. I don't know why this is being argued. We have the leak emails. Hello? We have the leaked emails between the ACLU and Amber Heard and her team. The trial court erred in denying the motion to strike and set aside the jury's verdict with regard to, I thought they were going to focus on First Amendment shit. With regard to Mr. Depp's failure to prove actual malice by clear and convincing evidence, the trial court erred in denying the motion to set aside the jury's verdict and ruling that the jury's verdict in favor of Mr. Depp on its claims against Ms. Heard and in favor of Ms. Heard on the claims against Mr. Depp were not inherently irreconcilably inconsistent. Why was this sentence so hard to read? We're going back between Mr. Depp and Mr. Heard, Mr. Heard, Mr. Depp, Mr. Heard, Mr. Depp. 16, the trial court erred in denying the motion to set aside the jury's verdict and upholding the amount of the jury's damages award in light of A, Mr. Depp's failure to prove pecuniary damage, and B, the excessiveness of the compensatory and punitive damages award. They're saying that he was being awarded too much. Respectfully submitted, J. Ward Brown, which is the new appeal lawyers. We got J. Ward Brown and we got Axelrod right here. And look whose name is still on there. Benjamin Roddenborn. Oh my god, Elaine's back. I'm just kidding. This is a different Elaine. Oh, it was so nice to see the name Elaine for a second there, but that's we're not going to see Elaine for a little bit. Poor Elaine. I'm sure Elaine wakes up in the middle of the night screaming up the UK trial. Wait, what about the UK trial? I hope Elaine is living her best life right now and just out of all this drama. Although, I don't know. It seems like they're going to throw her under the bus and her name is definitely going to come out. It's probably going to come up in the news a lot, so good luck to her. All right, so this is what Johnny Depp and his team submitted, and this is only 5 pages long. Appellant John C. Depp, by and through his undersigned counsel, hereby submits the following assignment of error. Number 1, the trial court erred by denying 1, Mr. Depp's motion for summary judgment as to appellee Amber Laura Heard's, Ms. Heard, counterclaim, and 2, Mr. Depp's motion to strike the evidence as to Ms. Heard's counterclaim. A, Mr. Waldman is an independent contractor, not an employee agent, and Mr. Depp is not liable for Mr. Waldman's allegedly tortious conduct as a matter of law. B, the counterclaim statements by non-party Adam Waldman that are subject to Ms. Heard's counterclaim are not actual statements sufficient to support a claim for defamation. Remember what Camille said? So remember how Johnny Depp did get, there was one statement that they found that was defamatory, but it was not made by Johnny Depp. It was made by Adam Waldman. Camille made a point to say that that statement itself was very fact-based. So seeing a statement like that, they made of like, I don't know how to word it in a way. She said it so much better. I wish I just had a clip of Camille just like explaining it. I'm sure I can go through my videos and find it. But that statement itself was very fact based. It was like Ms. Heard and her friends, you know, spilled a little bit of wine, messed up the apartment, called the police, set up a hoax and stuff like that. Like I don't know why Johnny Depp and his team never really actually addressed that actual statement itself. Because there was a reason why Adam Waldman believed that. It's because he talked to like Josh Drew, and Josh Drew was the one that was like, "Oh yeah, like it basically was a setup." But that actually came out after the verdict, so I don't know why they didn't really focus on that. But yeah, C. Ms. Heard failed to present any clear or convincing evidence that Mr. Waldman made a counterclaim statement with actual malice. We need to read this part. I'm not reading this part. It looks loud. It looks very long. The trial court erred in refusing Mr. Depp's proposed jury instruction numbers 22, 23, 24 as to whether Mr. Waldman was acting as an independent contractor when he made the counterclaim statement. Number 3, the trial court erred in excluding from evidence the full, unredacted version of Mr. Depp's exhibit notes. Oh, what are these? 888, 800, 881A, 881B, 881C, which are copies of the news articles in which the counterclaim statements appeared, instead admitting only the redacted versions that showed the counterclaim statements, out of context. Gotcha. Interesting. Andrew Crawford. All right. Yeah, that's all that we got going on right now. So they both submitted their assignments of error, and we'll see where it goes. I get so impatient with this whole court stuff. I want everything to happen now, 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 now. Like we're waiting for I think the lawsuit's still happening between David Dobrik and his former friend Jeff Wittick, right? I'm like, I want to know what's gonna happen now. Like I need to know. But yeah, that's gonna take a while too. I feel like their court date was like 2023 of December or something. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense because you have to do discovery and like get witnesses and all that. But everything just happened so slowly. Did anyone see the video of Amber on the street of Spain? No, I saw pictures. I never get notifications. What? I always miss it. Well, Nikita, you know what you can do, and other people in the chat that don't know? In the link below is my Discord, okay? Join my Discord. Have the notifications up. And then for YouTube, I don't know. You're supposed to hit the bell, but then you have to make sure that the bell notification notifies you when I don't know. I'm not quite sure how the bell thing works. I know you click on it and then you click on it again to like choose what you want to be notified. But yeah. Hi Nikita, how are you doing today? I will try my best to post this video as soon as I can. So if you guys came late on the live stream, don't worry about it. We'll review it. All right. Yeah, my shoulder is acting up. So